It is so special because the environment that it creates.
This is the place to be.
As soon as you arrive, you know that it's something different.
That expo, mind-boggling. I've been to a lot of races. There's nowhere I got the same feel, this vibe that the entire city is living and breathing triathlon.
By far the biggest expo of any triathlon that I've ever seen.
What makes triathlon so unique is the communities that host the venues and the community support.
The local community has to embrace the race because there's really no other option. It's a small local community. The race takes up the roads leading to and from the community.
Where else are you going to find a sports venue that can hold 300,000 people?
There's not a lot of places to stay, so people camp out. Others take a train race morning. So it's just a different experience than most races. And then you've got 300,000 spectators. They create this artificial stadium for the finish line.
When Eric arrived, it was sort of a jovial reunion that we had caught up with him as the support crew of the race. You could sort of sense the nerves that were kicking in. First of all, his bike broke.
Eric walks by and I see his derailleur hanging. Not on the derailleur hanger, just hanging.
First day he spent trying to get his bike repaired.
And then got the news that it's not going to be wetsuit legal.
Challenge Roth has always been known for being a cooler swim. It's always been a wetsuit for age groupers especially, but I don't believe it's ever been non-wetsuit even for pros.
And you could see that weight on Eric. Swim is already his nemesis in the sport.
I'm not going to be a hero in the water, okay? My goal is done only to get out of the water and start the real thing.
You could just see that he grew more nervous throughout the week.
Age group athletes often tend to, especially around swim, there's just so much anxiety for non-swimmer, especially the ones that come from a running background.
I was prepared. I think that once I knew it was non-wetsuit legal, I knew it's going to be there for a long day. I had no idea how long it's going to be.
Long course racing is a long day, and if something goes wrong, you can either let it destroy your day or you can solve the problem.
I was blowing completely all my numbers by a long stretch.
One thing I've learned over the years with triathletes is no matter what happens in the race, things go south. There's always going to be things that don't go to plan, but it's very clear that they find comfort in the fact that they know they've done the training.
I did the training. Immediately there was this switch and you have to focus on what you know how to execute. I had the preparation, I did my training, despite all the challenges of stopping and restarting and so on, and that's where Hugo helped me along and made all the adjustment, which at the end of the training, the race day, I knew I was ready for it.
And one of the awesome things about the app is it really gives you your readiness score and your fitness score. So we knew Eric, once he got on the bike, he would probably execute a decent bike, and then his strength is in the run.
I started the bike focusing really on executing the plan, which was I need to finish the bike fresh so I can run a really good run.
Solerberg Hill on the bike, probably the most epic section of a bike course in all of global triathlon. I mean, the crowds stack up Tour de France style, and it's like the parting of the Red Sea as these cyclists go up, and every single one of them is smiling. Even though that's an uphill and a harder part of the course, the smiles on the athlete's face as they go up and the fans spread apart is unlike anything else in the sport.
The beauty on that Soler Hill is that you have all these strangers that are supporting you, and they are all there for you. It's incredible, and you are just in this narrow passage.
If I go back and look at my ride files, seeing how much my heart rate just jumped just because of the spectators on Soler Hill. That was the only part of the entire ride, both times up the hill, where the heart rate didn't match the output.
And then someone say, "Go, Eric, go!" And that was my wife. And seeing her and passing so close to her on the bike, I mean, it put me so much joy on this climb. That was awesome.
So I got off the bike. I was well far back. Wasn't happy with how that went. My watch wasn't connecting with the GPS, so I was getting no feedback with how I was running. I saw my wife and daughter, and that kind of gave me an emotional pick-me-up, but I still didn't know how things were going. But yeah, 2 or 3K in, you get to a canal, a long out and back, and that's what most of it is on. And so you can see a long ways into the horizon without any turns. And so it was like, okay, well, I can get the next guy. Let's see how quickly I can get the next guy. And then I started to get into that kind of killer mindset that you have to have in order to put together a really solid run.
Watching Matt run the marathon is extraordinary. It's also quite deceiving, especially when you're watching him come from the front angle. There's a lot of upper body movement. He has this really long stride, and it looks like he's putting in just a ton of effort. Then you see him pass you from the side perspective, and you realize how fast he's moving, especially compared to the other pros in the field.
So I set the 2:30 goal when I agreed to do the race. My fastest before was 2:34. So it's a significant jump. This is what I set out to do. This is my number one goal for the season, essentially, was to break this barrier. This is my opportunity. I've got that now. Don't mess it up. I'm not missing this again.
I was feeling so proud for Matt. I was feeling so happy for him because it's a real achievement. I was completely blown away. Running a 2:28, I mean, that's so unbelievable. And on this course, I mean, this race is, it's not the hardest, but it's definitely not the easiest either. You have all this time, you're spending pretty much 60% of your time on gravel, and that you're losing a little bit of traction there. You have this climb at the end, and even though it's only for a few miles, it's still a few miles up.
As athletes, we need to draw the confidence in our day that we've done everything we could to be successful on the day. You have to have the understanding that things are going to go wrong. When things do go wrong, that's where you draw on that confidence. That's where you draw on the feeling that you've done everything. You're prepared for whatever situation comes at you. He had a number of situations where that week of training didn't go perfectly because life happened. And he had the trust that Hugo made the adaptations and adjustments to his program that he needed to keep him in line with his goal, that he told Hugo his goal and did whenever possible the work to make that happen. And he could see the insights that Hugo was giving, both qualitative and quantitative, that he was set to hit that goal, and he did it in the end.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Let's go, Eric!
You know, as you're crossing that finish line, you are reflecting on not just how your race went, but the journey that you took to get there, as it starts many months, in some cases years, before you end up crossing that finish line.
The impression of finishing in the stadium and doing this final lap of victory that you get into the stadium, you feel so special when that's coming.